Fuck, 1.8 down this week. This is not how I was supposed to start this account. All of the work, all of the back testing, coming back to this position. Am I just throwing it all away? I don't know.
Boys, why is the market untradeable? Fuck me. How the fuck are you supposed to trade this shit, man? My buys today was shorts, and obviously we filled it up in the first fucking 3 minutes. Look at all of this bullshit. And then I reversed my buys to go longs to target, the fair value gap and also equilibrium of the swing, not the swing low, just that bearish movement. And look what happens, man. We get a break of structure, and of course, we don't tap into our fair value gap to enter. Boys! Boys. Boys. What is this? Oh my god! Every day we get on. Every day we get on. We determine our bias. And guess what happens in the first 10 minutes? It goes the way of where our bias wanted to go. What is wrong with this price action? It's actually killing me. It's actually killing me. Today was shorts or nothing. I guess it's nothing again. I haven't taken a trade in 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks.
Oh my god, boys. Oh my god, boys. Finally, after 2 weeks of suffering, we finally got an entry into the market. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks, right? Look, my issue is, right, as you boys know from my previous rant, market has just been so volatile in the first 10 minutes. So in the first 10 minutes of market opening, right, what we would typically do is we would just shoot straight up or shoot straight down with no opportunities to enter, which obviously isn't ideal for a trader because you're trying to catch these movements. And if you have those movements in the first 20, 25 minutes of market open, or sorry, not even 20, 25, in the first 5 to 10 minutes of market open, it takes out all of your attainable draws on liquidity. So what does that mean? It means, right, there are still opportunities to take trades, but trades after that have less conviction because our attainable draws for the day are taken out. So we would need to, draw 2 more high time frame draws that are less likely to happen in the market. But finally, today, right, even though it took out our attainable draw that we wanted to target, we still found an entry because I kind of I was just extremely confident in our daily buys. So any sort of confluence today after 950, I would take. And that's essentially what we did. So let me flip the camera around. Boys, so right now as we speak, right, just look at this. Like my buys for today was longs because if you scale down into the higher time frame onto the daily, we actually took out all of these low resistant daily lows here. So, what does that mean? We're in a profit taking zone. So profit taking zones means that, we're going to get movement out of this, which we did get during Asian session as well as London session. But I was extremely confident that New York session would act as the continuation for this. Because if you look at the draws on today's liquidity, you got this hourly draw here, this hourly draw, this hourly draw, this hourly, blah, blah, blah. We have all these low resistant draws from the big downswing from last week, waiting for price to take out. So that is sort of how I found my buys today and why I was so confident in taking longs. So right now we're in a position we entered in roughly 5 minutes ago, and we're sitting at a pretty healthy margin of $500. But again, you never know with this market. And if you look, right, we are pretty overbought right here. So I'm expecting some sort of retracement but hopefully it won't be too much of a big one.
12 seconds later.
Okay, boys. It's a couple minutes after that. Actually, it's been like 40 minutes. And I'm actually down $1,000 today. So you may be wondering, how did you lose $1,000? Well, basically, right. As you saw from my recording, right, I mentioned that if we invest that 5-minute fair value gap and we completely filled it, I would, want to sell out of this trade because I was pretty confident that if, we invest that fair value gap, we would sort of get a big retracement. So I was actually looking to exit out of this trade and then wait for that retracement to come on the high time frame, and then when that retracement came, re-enter into longs. That was what I wanted, right? But at the same time, right, I did make a little mistake in terms of not waiting for that 1-minute candle to sort of form. So I actually exited out, as you can see here, like as this candle was forming. I didn't wait for it to close. So that was mistake number one. Now, mistake number two, I wouldn't say this was sort of a mistake, but in terms of why I took this trade, I still think this trade is a pretty good trade. But like I mentioned before, you need to find ammunition to get higher up to reach the next draws of liquidity that we wanted to target. We needed to take out low resistant draws. So that being our 1-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute lows. But yes, as we're speaking, it's doing what I wanted to do. So obviously that's not a nice feeling, but at least my bias was right. So back to the drawing board, boys. Back to the drawing board. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you just love it? Don't you just love it when you take the trade's perfect, 5-minute SMT, NQ trade, go for shorts, and then you get stopped out within the first 2-3 minutes of the trade. It's alright, it's part of the game, but what makes it worse? When the market does exactly what you say and sort of edges you out of your trade by just the slightest margin before dumping. Well, yep, that happened. So we took the trade on the left, got stopped out, and we are just doing exactly what I said market was going to do. On the bright side, right, we are down 1.8 this week. Took some trades on Monday. Bias on Monday was right. I just was a pussy and exited my trade early because I was a fucking gay cunt. Tuesday, no trades because there was nothing to take. Wednesday, I fell asleep before market open, and that was literally the most straightforward, easiest trade, 1 hour sweep. And finally, we have this trade where we take the trade, we get stopped out, perfectly fine. I'm alright. I'm okay with getting stopped out, and we just do what the market did. So technically, right, we kind of managed our risk pretty well this week. Let me actually see how much I'm down. Yeah, 1.82, right? We've managed our risk pretty well. Only lost 1% of the account. Secondly, at least the bias was right for all of the trades we took. So yeah, always look on the positive side. But with that being said, why is the market doing this? I did not plan for me to sort of, lose the first couple trades. But again, that's okay because we made the right decisions every single time in terms of bias wise. Everything was right about the trade, just didn't play out. Monday could have, played it a bit better. So yes, that's how it's going right now. And to be fair, right, when I did my Funder challenge, I actually lost the first 2 trades before I went on a streak of like 6 trades in a row winning. So it's just part of the game. So what we're going to do, right, is we're going to get some beauty sleep. All right, boys, it is Sunday afternoon and it's time to do much needed admin and strategy review of how I did this week. Now, you guys know what happened this week. Monday, right bias, wrong execution, then tried to counter trade, which wasn't the greatest idea, which was still the right idea, but psychologically, I exited the trade way too early. Then, after that, next couple of days, the same thing happened over and over and over and over again, where I had the right bias, the right framework going into market open, but market just moved without me. And it's definitely really annoying to see market moving without you. And that's why something needs to budge. And that's why we are going to slightly alter the strategy that got us here. So, without further ado, it's time to do a quick study session.
I get quiet when there's no one else around. Me and you and awkward silence. Don't you dare look at me that way. I don't
Right.
need reminders.
After reviewing my trades for the past 2 weeks, I have identified what our issue has been. So, our daily biases and actually coming with where market wants to go has been generally okay. In the past 2 weeks, I have predicted the general move for the day 7 out of 10 times, which is pretty positive. 70% hit rate of where market wants to go, which is very, very good. But what is our main issue is our execution. Mainly getting left by the market in the first couple minutes of market open. So, boys, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, we have tweaked our strategy. We have revised a bit. I've written down what I'm looking for now in my next trades. And what is that? Basically, if we have high time frame confluences going on in one direction, meaning that if we see that there are high time frame confluences or for going longs and the entry comes in the first 5 to 10 minutes, we are no longer waiting for the 950 mark. We are no longer waiting for the macro to hit. We are essentially going to take the trade if we have either 4-hour or 1-hour confluence, a 15-minute S&T, and if we have swept our low time frame ammunition for price to sort of build up price action. That being said, again, I'll see you boys in the next video and tune in because it's going to be a very, very fun week, especially with the high time frame news we have. And it's going to be a very, very fun week.